Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Today's episode is a short, action oriented podcast, and it's all about how to stop self sabotage, how to continue to take market share, and how to seize all of the opportunities that are all around us. So, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what's going on in politics, no matter what's going on with inflation and what's going on with interest rates, you have to open your eyes and see the opportunity that's coming. I think that the next 2 to 3 years are going to be such an incredible time to build wealth. And what happens is many people get super excited. They set their New Year's goals. Then they get lazy or they get complacent or they stop being held accountable. And the first and second quarter of the year are absolutely critical to stay on track. I remember even when I was in my corporate telecom job, I would come out of the gate so strong in January that I would set myself up for the coming 6 months, have sales lined up, have prospects lined up, have relationships lined up, and make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to win. So for those of us that are in the Northeast, yes, the winter sucks. But what I decided this year, and I've noticed such a big improvement in my own mental health, is instead of repeating that affirmation, because that's what it is, it's an affirmation, I made the decision to just accept it, but also accept the fact that I am going to take massive action. I'm going to show up every single day like I say that I am, and I'm going to show up and ready to win and ready to play all out. Everyone else is sleeping, okay? Maybe the top performers, the people that are at, the top of the totem pole, many of those are out there getting after it, but there's a reason why they're at the top of the totem pole, and that reason is because they show up all year round. So I recently saw a post that was incredible, and it really struck home to me. And it's about taking a little time off for yourself, right? And I think that this is a great recipe or a great hack in order to not be in a position where you start to burn out. But the only way that you can take advantage of that is you have to come out the first and second quarter of the year like an absolute animal. Then what happens is that you're able to be in a position towards the end of the year where you don't have to go crazy. You can actually enjoy the holidays. Maybe you can go on an extended trip. This was the longest time ever out of the country for me over this year's holiday season, and I believe it was like 17 days. And previously, I would have never considered taking 17 days off. I think the most I did before that was like 10 to 12 days. And the reason I was able to do that is because I put a plan in place. I made sure that the pipeline was full. I made sure the leadership team was dialed in and everybody else was really focused on the goal at hand. So the reason why many people get in a position where they can't do that is because they don't listen to things. They don't pour into their mind. They don't take care of themselves. And then they start to freak out because they feel that the year is slipping away. So I don't want that to be you, okay? So I want to share some tips on how to not get derailed in this current year because, guys, let's face it, we're heading into a very turbulent economic possible situation, right? Post-election, we don't know what's going to play out. We don't know what they're going to do with interest rates. We don't know what's going to happen with commission compression, with the attack on commissions or whatever else you want to call it. But what I want you to do is be in a position to not care what else is going on that's out of your control. I want you to focus on the micro, not the macro. Your own micro economy is what I want you to focus on. So here's the tips. Number one is you have to practice self-care. What I mean by self-care is a morning routine. In addition to the morning routine, you need to get the blood flowing. You have to get the blood pumping, okay? There's a reason why Tony Robbins talks about this all the time, and it's about changing your state. It's about jumping on the little trampoline if you need to jump on the trampoline. It's about doing affirmations. It's about whatever you need to do, whether that's cold plunge, hot plunge. I don't really care what plunge you take, but you have to figure out a way to change your state. Because if you're waking up every morning and you feel like, not another day of this again, or I can't believe it's still winter, I can't believe it's still cold out, or when are the interest rates going to drop? Guys, nobody cares, okay? The only thing that cares and the only thing that's being affected is your bank account. Okay? Let that one sink in. I believe that all top performers, especially in real estate and in business, need to treat their bodies like an athlete. You should always be striving to get a little bit better, a little 1% chip here and there. You have to keep pushing to get better. What happens is you're able to deal with the chaos and the stress and everything else that comes along with being an entrepreneur. So the second thing is you show up no matter what every day like it's game day. So guys, I know that there's some meetings you don't want to take. There's some clients that are a pain in the ass. There's situations where you wish you could just go and run and hide or cry or book a plane ticket or do something other than be in that moment. But that does not stop you from being in a position where you can just say, you know what? Boom, you tap yourself on the shoulder, you change your state, and you show up like you are the best version of yourself. I'll tell you why. Everything is energy, okay? Your energy translates to other people and they're able to feel what you feel internally. So even if I had a rough morning or I didn't get a good night of sleep, or maybe I had a stressful situation, maybe somebody left the company, maybe somebody left the team, but then I have a high level meeting. If you show up in that listing appointment or you show up in that recruiting appointment or whatever appointment you have, and you show up like Debbie Downer and you're not excited to be there and the person can't feel that transfer of energy, it really does start to show up and you'll notice it starts to impact your results. So even if you have to act as if you are an actor, you are an actress, and you're here to put on a show. I can remember my early days of becoming a team leader within Keller Williams, and it was in 2018 or 2019. And I think it finally hit me that I was in charge of the ship with like 160, 170 realtors. And I'm thinking to myself, like, how did I get into this? and also, how am I going to show up and deliver at a high value? And how am I going to, become the leader that I need to be? So what I would do is on the drive in on team meeting day, when we had 40, 50, 60 people in the room, I would crank something up, right? For me, it was Tony Robbins related at the time. It was an affirmation that he does. It's just say yes, say yes, say yes. And if you've ever been to Tony Robbins UPW, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And what I was doing is I was tricking my subconscious mind into just massive action, right? A whole different state of vibrational energy instead of just showing up, calling my wife, saying, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. And I also used this before going in on listing appointments in the early days. I would not even take a phone call if I was on the way to a listing appointment. Why? I did not take a phone call because I didn't want to change my state. And I would pull up to that client's house and I would be so pumped up, ready to go in there and put on a show, right? That's what you're doing. You're putting on a show. You're, of course, being genuine, but you're showing up as if you are there to serve, as if you are the dominant force in the market and you know that you can help them. So the third is get an accountability partner or a coach, especially because of what I talked about earlier. We could be moving into some really weird times, okay? Inflation is still out of control. Interest rates have not moved down like we thought that they would, and we still have an inventory crunch / crisis, whatever you want to call it, okay? But guess what? I don't even care about that because the only thing that I can control is my daily habits and activities and my production. That's what I can control. And then I can also control who I attract into my life that makes my world and my business get bigger. So we need to get out of our comfort zone and stop just talking to ourselves. There's a book that the name of it escapes me, but it's something to the effect of what to say when we talk to ourselves, right? It's a very dangerous place to just be in your mind by yourself. You need a partner, you need an accountability person to hold you accountable, or you need a coach. That's the first thing that I did when I went full-time in real estate. And it's the best decision that I ever made, because how are you going to get to where you want to go if you don't have the framework and if you don't have the cheat code? So cut it out with the small goals. Stop holding on to every single dollar that you have. Invest back in yourself and put yourself in a position to win. So there's two more tools that I want to share with you that we use in the Keller Williams world. And it's called the GPS and it's called the 411. So the GPS is priority 1, 2, and 3. It can be in business. It can be in business/life, or you can have two separate GPSs. In my opinion, that's what I like to do in business and in life. Then what you're doing is you're coming up with the strategies to be able to get you to where you want to go. And then the 411 is really an action goal. So it's your monthly, your weekly, your annual, and what are the steps that you're doing to get to where you want to go. So I'm happy to share these tools with you. Just shoot me a message, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to reach out, and I'm happy to share these tools with you. But guys, please take this message seriously. There is incredible opportunity coming in the new market that we're already in, okay? There's distressed properties. People need to sell businesses. There's going to be incredible opportunity for those that are ready and prepared. So do not be the one to not be prepared and to miss out on the opportunity. So that's it for today, guys. Greatly appreciate all the support, the shout outs. It keeps me going. It keeps these podcasts dropping every single week. And as always, reach out if you need something, and please share the show. Please download, please tell your friends, and check us out on YouTube. Thank you, guys. Take care.